Okay. Kelvin, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? Good?
I'm doing all right, just looking at this topology.
All right, all good. Well, folks, I'll go ahead and brief you guys on what we're doing here. So Kelvin wanted to go ahead and get some practice, resolving some issues, within a network. He's getting ready to, again, dive deep into a new role. So he wanted to go ahead and make sure his skills as far as troubleshooting are up to par, especially in a multi-vendor environment, because that's what most enterprise environments look like today. So we have a topology here, and Kelvin, take note. I'm not talking to the customer now. So we have a topology to where we hired professional services from a company to go ahead and configure all of our Cisco devices for, of course, for networking, pushing traffic or what have you. But for some odd reason, we finally, got our building up and running, and we got users on site. And now, after 3 weeks of it working, now our users, our end users, are unable to go ahead and reach resources or get onto the network. And again, I'm gonna keep it as vague as possible. I'm gonna leave that up to the engineer, Kelvin, to go ahead and resolve that. And so, just to give you guys again a background of this topology. So again, take a look at it. You guys can see different devices or what have you. So again, I'm gonna be the customer. Probably gonna be an asshole. Kelvin, you'll be okay with that. This is just good practice because again, all of you guys on this call, I'm sure you guys witnessed being in IT so far. That's just what it is. People don't mean to be like that, but it's just gonna come out as such. So you have to be able to work under pressure, whether if it's, against your morals or feelings or not. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. So Kelvin being an attack engineer, Kelvin just called me. So ring, ring. Cool. I'll pick up the phone.
All right. Hello. Hey, how you doing today? My name is Kelvin Lewis. I'll be an engineer for today.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What seems to be the issue?
Yeah. Open up a attack case because professional services, you guys helped us out. Go ahead and, build up our network. We have, a campus with 2 buildings, and you guys helped us set it up. We got some of your routers and switches here, of course, with some other vendors here. And, it was working whenever you guys finished helping us set up. But now our end users are unable to reach resources or, obtain IP addresses. So I'm not an IT guy, so I need you guys to fix this. So here's my topology. Of course, you guys have access to all the devices. So, only the Cisco devices. So you let me know what you need to look at, okay?
All right, can I ask you a quick question? Was anything changed recently in with the configurations since we helped you out the first time?
I just told you that it was working whenever you guys helped me.
Okay, I understand. I just wanted to make sure nobody else on the team went and made any changes. Okay. All right. I'm just taking a few notes. All right. Can you open up PC 12?
Why do you need to look at a PC? I thought you're here to troubleshoot my network devices.
Yes, I'm here to troubleshoot your network devices, but if you said that your PCs unable, your end users, your hosts were unable to receive resources. So I wanted to see.
Yeah, I have a test PC I can show you. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Cool. Go ahead and pull that up. Yeah, and let me go ahead and show you.
Okay. Do you know where in the topology, which router is acting as your DHCP server, or do you have another that acts as the server acting as the DHCP server?
Yes, our server is right here. It's on a different network within our MDF in another building.
Okay. All right. Can you, do you happen to have the IP address of that server?
Yeah, it's 10.10.2.25.
10.10.2.25. So you're not getting the IP address. Okay, 10.10.2.25. All right, can you open up switch 1 for me? All right. Do you mind sliding this screen over slightly to the right for me so I can still take a look at the topology? Okay, so switch 1. Let's see. Can you run the type enable, please? I mean, configure.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to do anything on these devices. I thought that's what Cisco does.
Okay, so you want me to take control of your device?
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
Yes, can I take control of your device, please?
Oh, yeah, of course. Go ahead and give it to you. Hold on.
All right. Is it okay if I enter configuration mode? Well, excuse me, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not gonna enter it right now. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not an IT guy.
Okay.
So guys, while Kelvin is working on that, I'm gonna break out a scenario real quick. So guys, this is exactly, right? And I'm sure Jermaine can speak on it too. This is the type, and I know a couple of people here work in an environment as well that can tell you this is how it is. You're probably going to get some of the toughest customers to work with, right? They may be I know Brian and Claude was talking about it earlier. They may be the directors of IT, but don't know anything about, network infrastructure devices or managing any of them. So, really asking for permission and not really driving, that's one of the things that you have to make sure you get comfortable with. If you're there to go ahead and fix, for example, the toilet, you go in there and take out your tools and say, hey, all right, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and start, doing X, Y, and Z. After the customer gave you, he let you know that, hey, I'm not an IT guy. You do what you need to do. So hope that helps. But yeah, let's go ahead, keep rolling. And then Kel, I'm gonna break out a scenario. So even though the customer doesn't understand any of this, what's stopping you from explaining what you're doing on his device?
Oh, nothing right now. I thought you were still out of character, so I just wasn't talking.
No, that's all good. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you're doing on somebody's box, you make sure that you explain what you're doing because you're just prying around and not saying what you're doing.
All right, so.
Okay.
All right, so I ran the command show IP interface brief because I wanted to make sure that the connections were up and up. I'm just verifying connectivity, checking layer 1 and layer 1 and layer 2, just make sure everything is up and up. Let's see. When I ran the command show run, I was just verifying and looking over all the configurations that you have on the device as of right now, looking to see if I see anything that stands out to me. Let's see. So
yeah, you guys set it up. So shouldn't you guys know what it is, or are you part of a different team?
Yes, I'm a part of a different team. I wasn't a part of the initial configuration, so I'm just going over.
Oh. Okay, I apologize. I assumed that you were part of the same team.
Oh, no, sir. Just trying to get caught up to speed, try to see what, what the other team configured. See if I can see anything that may be configured incorrectly.
Mhm.
Okay. So I see one of the, let's see the port. One of the port channels happen to be down. I'm just gonna check to see what's going on with that port channel.
Kelvin, here's another hint. Explain what you're trying to look forward to in detail. It's okay if you're talking to somebody who doesn't know.
Okay, let's see. So when I started looking at the so gigabit and the interface gigabit 0/1,
Mhm.
I'm looking at the configuration and stuff of it, and I see that the operational mode is said that it's down and it's a part of port channel 1.
Mhm.
So I've just typed in the command show interface port channel so I can look and see what's going on with that port channel, like verify port channel the configuration and connectivity.
Okay.
All right, so I'm still looking over this information right now. If you can give me 1 second.
So guys, I'm gonna break out a character real quick. So I hope you guys saw what Kelvin did. So he went ahead and properly explained what he's looking for, right? But one thing he also did is he started, even though it was, again, he didn't know how to start or engage with the customer. Now he's starting to go ahead and drive, saying, hey, here's what I'm looking for, but you're gonna have to give me a second. So I'm not going, I'm gonna need you to shut the hell up while I'm troubleshooting it. So I hope you guys picked up on it. So Kel, good stuff. Keep rolling.
All right, so it's saying the port channel is up and the line protocol is up. Let's see. I'm just gonna look at the connections one more time.
Mm-hmm.
It's up, down. I'll make sure, let me look at the show run. I'm gonna look at the running configuration one more time to verify that the trunk port is configured correctly. Let's see.
And Kel, I'm still out of character. So remember,
Okay.
you being that engineer that's troubleshooting this, you have Google at your disposal. So take a look at it. And of course, even though I tell you, right, I'm telling you that only you can troubleshoot it, you have roughly almost more than 5 people on this call, on the Zoom call that you can troubleshoot with.
Oh yeah.
And,
I got
talk
you.
about, okay, because that's one of the pieces of being an engineer is not doing it all by yourself. Even though I just told you to start a scenario, you have to do it all by yourself. You can break the rules. It's perfectly fine to get the job done.
I'm sorry, I clicked off the screen and made a mistake and close that out. You mind opening back?
Oh, no.
Opening up switch 1 for me one more time?
Yeah. What you need? Switch 2?
Can you open up switch 1 and then can you open up switch 2 as well?
Oh yeah, that's too much. You're the engineer. You're gonna make me go back to being a customer.
Okay.
So remember, you got multiple people on here. So if you need them to unmute themselves and help you, feel free. This is what you're gonna do whenever you're on task. Okay.
Okay.
Just again, whenever I say we're back in scenario, then yeah, I may pop in as a customer and say, hey, what's the update? Okay. So feel free to tell folks to unmute. You need help, you need lifelines, go ahead. And folks, if you guys are muted, feel free to jump in and chime in and bounce things off of Kelvin's head to help him with this troubleshooting process.
Okay. I have control again. Okay, I was just making sure I had control.
Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Christian.
Yep.
So Kelvin, you got Carlos and Christian who unmuted for you. So if you need help, I'm sure they can add value.
All right. The access port, gigabit 0/2. Hold on.
Kelvin, question. Did we confirm whether the PC obtained an IP address? On whether we can do a basic pen test across to the DHCP server? Just confirming layer 1.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the things where I listened to the customer. They said he wasn't obtaining IP addresses, but I should trust but verify. So I should have verified that.
So Kelvin, you actually did see,
Yeah, I saw it wasn't able to obtain a DHCP address. So that's why I didn't run the IP config command, because I knew it was going to be a PIPA address there. And
there you go.
Okay, so it's no IP at all. All right, so I wouldn't be able to run a connectivity test to ping because it's not an IP address there at all.
And you have Claude who just unmuted himself to help you as well. So you got help. You got Christian, you got Carlos, and you got Claude, and so yeah, feel free to thought process. But initially, again, you're the engineer, so you also have to respect them as well. Think of them as other engineers trying to do their own stuff as well. So if you come to them for questions, right, make sure it's because you hit all ends and you checked everything.
Okay. All right.
What you need? Switch one?
Yes. All right. Thank you. So gigabit 02 is just has it's an access port with negotiation auto. So let me check. That's right. Yes, it's in VLAN. So this is in VLAN 1. Let's see. So that's down. I already checked it. Strong key. Can't place. We got one key.
Hey, Kelvin, let me interject something real quick.
Yes, sir.
You were looking earlier at the port channel.
Yes.
All right. So I see something that's crazy about that whole setup right there, but keep that on the back burner. Let's just take a look at first checking to see if that switch even sees that PC at a layer 2.
Okay. All right. I need to see the MAC address for PC. I'm going to open up PC 12. Is that okay?
You may have
if you hover at the bottom, look at the window.
Yeah.
If you hover your mouse at the bottom of my screen, nope. At the bottom of my screen, just hover
Taskbar.
Hover your mouse. Keep going.
The bottom of I have this okay. I have this black bar at the bottom of my screen.
Oh, okay. So just let me know if you need me to open something. That's fine.
Yeah, so the switch is learning the MAC address.
I was about to say on the switch, just look at the port.
Yes.
G02.
Yeah, I saw
that. A MAC address on it. Yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to verify it was that MAC address. So yes, it learned the MAC address from that port. Let's see. So I don't understand why they're have port channels set up and there's only one connection from device to device in the first place. Let's see.
Okay, so let me hop in as not the customer, right? So let's look at the port channel, right? Because I think you identified something well, right? So let's go ahead and run the command, show ether channel summary. Let's take a look at layer 1, who's a part of that port channel. You spelled ether channel wrong. It's E-T-H-E-R. No, it's all good, all good. Oh, I got fat fingers. I tried to shoot a zombie and I ended up killing myself, so it's all good. Okay, so hold on.
Sorry.
Let's slow down a second, okay? So what does this say, right? It says port channel 1, right?
Yes.
You know, we're running, you know, we configured, you know, you guys configured it to run LACP, right?
Right.
And we have gigabit 0/0 that has a initial of P, which means it's bundled in a port channel. So meaning it's actually working as expected, right? You know, a port channel is established between two peers, okay? So
right.
We also have, right, within that same ether channel, right, gigabit 0/1. Is that going to the same device that gigabit 0/0 is going to, or is that going to a different device?
It's going to a different device.
Okay, so, and fundamentally, right, LACP, it's meant to be, you know, whenever bundles are set up, it's meant to be a peer-to-peer relationship, not a peer to multi-peer, which, of course, technologies now, multi-chassis lag, we can do that, but we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about fundamentally, why do we have a port channel going to two different peers?
Right. So I need to remove gigabit 0/1 from port channel 1.
Do you need to, or was the initial issue, hey, you know, my end users can't reach resources or get an IP address? So let's make sure whatever we're going to do, we're going to make sure we tackle it with the OSI model. So that's why Christian was telling you, hey, Christian and Carlos was challenging to say, hey, let's look at that PC, let's get that MAC address, let's go ahead and go to the switch and make sure, hey, layer 1 and layer 2 is fine by looking at the MAC address and making sure MAC address table and making sure that's set there. Then at the switch level, we go ahead and check anything else at layer 2 that's happening, because we don't have anything layer 3 configured on that switch whenever you ran through the running configuration. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So keep rolling. And again, if you get stuck, it's perfectly fine. You're human. Reach out to your team, try to think through it. You don't have to keep pushing show commands if you get stuck. Write it out yourself. You're the engineer.
Okay. All right, so we verified that the switch was learning the MAC address from PC 12.
Kelvin, question. Which port is the PC connected to on the switch?
Gigabit 0/2.
And okay, so that's the uplink, right? Now, do you see that port anywhere there forming an ether channel?
No, port 0/2 is not in that ether channel.
What do you think?
Port 0/2 shouldn't be in that port channel.
So how are we going to send traffic and receive information from the rest of the network? Just a question.
You're talking about if gigabit 0/2 is not in that particular port channel, how we send or receive information?
Yeah.
Like,
how would PC 12 be able to interact with the rest of the network? Think of it like if there's one link that is connecting us to the rest of the network, right?
Like kind of like what he was explaining, that port channels usually connect to like devices. So gigabit 0/2 is connected to PC 12, whereas gigabit 0/1 is connected to switch 2, and 00 is connected to the firewall. So
Okay.
those 3 ports wouldn't and shouldn't be in the same port channel.
When you do a show interface gig 0/2, what do you see?
Show interface, what's that? Include gig 0/2. It's configured as an access port.
Mhm.
Let's see, it's in VLAN 1.
Mhm.
So trust. Yeah, it's configured correctly as an access.
Just do show interface gig 0/2 as well, without a switch port.
Show interface or interface brief?
Yeah, interface with show interface gig 0/2 without switch port. Okay, number 1 is doing it up. Okay.
Yeah, so that particular port is, in my opinion, is configured correctly.
Okay, another question, right? So now we see 2 ports are part of the port channel from switch 1 going up, right? But why is there that gig 0/1 also part of the port channel? Is that necessary?
No, gigabit 0/1 shouldn't be in that port channel as well.
Okay.
Because they're not going to 2 like devices.
So
to the same device.
So what will you do in that case?
I was going to remove gigabit 0/1 from port channel 1.
Okay.
Is what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You got 2 options. You can either remove, or basically what I would call clean up that whole situation, right?
Right.
Or let's think about time. What's the quickest way to get this customer online? You can either shut down one of those ports, okay? And you can come back later and clean up the whole ports channel situation.
Right.
But in the meantime, you can clean it up right now and have those set up as 2 separate links, or you can shut one down and begin the process of getting your DHCP package through to the end user. That's up to you.
Okay. Let's see.
But what I would recommend if you're going to do the cleanup later, start making notes of these little things that you see broken on the separate on your notepad.
Okay.
So when you see it broken and you say, okay, this isn't a factor of what my problem, this isn't the main factor of what my problem is, you can go ahead and just shut it down, take it out of the equation that way.
Right.
And then you have your note saying you need to come back and clean this up.
And then I would just verify if switch 1 can actually
get through 0/0
to the firewall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Time is not on your side. You
right.
know? So if you identify a problem, you can either do one or 2 things. If you don't think you can quickly resolve it / clean it up, then go ahead, shut it down and eliminate it out of the process and just come back to it. But the main thing right now that your customer wants is for PC 12 to get a DHCP
okay.
IP.
All right. Well, okay. Let me see. Is it okay if I access router 6?
Sure.
I just want to see what the IP address is on gigabit 0/0, so I can try to ping the IP address from switch 1.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of scenario real quick. I'm good. Yeah, I'm out of scenario. Why are we jumping to layer 3 and we haven't even confirmed if we know the MAC address of the next hop, which is the
Oh
FortiGate?
yeah, I'm sorry. I just got ahead of myself. Okay.
It's all
It
good.
happens.
It's all.
It happens.
Hey,
It
this
happens.
is why we here. Hey, nobody's perfect, bro. I do it. I've done it before, so it's all good. So let's work through it. So what do you
All right.
need from me, being the customer? I'm back as being the customer now.
Okay, I'm gonna open switch 1 back up so I can well, do you happen to know the MAC address of that firewall?
Yeah, let me log in and take a look. Give me 1 second. Let's take a look.
Kelvin, did you make note? Because I know you looked at this earlier. Did you make note of the MAC addresses on that switch 1 when you was looking to confirm the layer 2 connectivity on the PC? Did you write down that other MAC address?
I should have, but no, I haven't.
Okay.
But
So if you remember, the command you used back then only showed you 2 MAC addresses. So
Right.
somebody's missing.
Right. So it's okay.
If that other switch is missing, that's good. That's okay. So like I was saying earlier, if that other switch is missing, you can go ahead and shut that link going to that other switch and eliminate that completely out of the equation to get to that FortiGate.
Right.
And like I said, come back to that later and clean that up.
That's because it's multiple paths to get to that
Yeah.
firewall, so we can shut. Okay. I see it right there.
What is that? That 50:01? Is that
Yeah,
the MAC?
Let me clean it up. Hold on. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so compare that to the 2 MAC addresses that you saw earlier when you started the process in switch 1 and see if that's one of the ones that's seen.
Okay. Thank you, Claude. So I'm gonna run the command show MAC address table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Cal, you're doing a good job, man, collaborating with your team and not trying to figure it out yourself. So
See,
good
look at
stuff
that.
there, bro.
Look at that.
All right. So
that's telling you that it's seeing the FortiGate, which means temporarily you can shut down that gig 01 port going to the other switch and come back and clean it up later.
Exactamundo. Absolutely.
now,
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna ask if it was okay if I shut down the connection between the 2 switches instead of.
Yeah, because it's not even a factor.
Yeah, I was asking Dave as the customer before I made a change.
Oh, my bad. Let me mute myself. Let me mute myself. Hold on.
No, you okay. I just wanted to
stop it. But Kel, good stuff. And thank you for asking me. But remember, I'm the customer, but I don't know any IT stuff. So whenever you're asking me, can you do that? Also with that, also explain in that same sentence, here's why, because X, Y, Z, and explain to the customer, in layman's terms, why making that change. And you can use technical terms as well. Why making this change is going to be beneficial with your troubleshooting. I'm going to still say okay anyway, because my end users can't do shit unless you do something.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead. Let's try this again. So
right.
Go ahead. Ask me.
Can I minimize this screen so I can see the topology again?
No, you cannot. Go ahead. I got you. Hold on. I'm playing. Lighten up, man. Lighten up. Gee.
No, I know
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. All right, go ahead. You gotta pull this up for you.
All right, so when I checked the MAC address table, I was looking to see if the switch was actually learning those MAC addresses from the devices that's directly connected to it. And I noticed that it's not learning the MAC address to the firewall. And another thing I also noticed is that the configuration with the port channels are a little off, but I don't need that right now. So it would be beneficial to me if I shut that connection down between the two switches. And it's like, to help me troubleshoot a little bit more. Is it okay if I shut that port down?
Sure, go ahead.
Let me verify what port it is. So,
good stuff, Cal. And while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and tell you. So typically, right, once you and you've seen it before, right? Definitely use your better judgment as well, right? If you know it's a big change that may affect something huge, you go ahead and be the expert that you are, right? The engineer, and say, hey, here's where I am in my troubleshooting. Here's what can help me, but I think we should wait until we set a maintenance window to go ahead and continue this troubleshooting, because this may affect traffic flow and production.
Okay, but typically in a scenario like this, me shutting down that port channel would not affect traffic for the customer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna start by gigabit 0/0. I'm gonna show IP interface brief to check to see if it's up and up. So it's it's up and it's up. Let's see. I'm going to, let me see. I pulled this up. All right. Show right. It's up connected. Reliability. I'm gonna check the configuration that's on that particular interface.
Gotcha.
0/0. Give me 1 second to check something out really quick. Okay, so it is. So it is configured as a trunk. So why wouldn't it be learning the MAC address? So it is using right encapsulation. Is configured as a trunk port. Channel group 1 mode active.
FortiGate's not a Cisco device. Shouldn't be touching that. So where are you at now in your troubleshooting process? I'm not the customer. Where are you at now in your troubleshooting
Looking at
process?
interface, I was checking interface gigabit 0/0, checking the configuration on it, making sure it was configured as a trunk.
Okay.
So I see that it's actually, it's configured as a trunk. I checked the layer 1. I see everything was up and up. Layer 1 and layer 2, both up and up. And I'm seeing that this configuration is correct as well. So now I'm just trying to figure out why switch 1 would not be learning the MAC address of the firewall. And what would be a reason? It's not learning.
Yeah,
the
we
thought you-
confirmed that. Yeah.
I thought you just confirmed that.
Yes, I confirmed it's not learning the MAC address, but I'm trying to figure out. Right now I'm trying to figure out why it's not learning the MAC address.
Hold on, back that up. Back that up. Scroll back up because I know you already captured that data in your window. The switch one window, CLI window. Scroll up a little bit because you did that command already.
Which
There you go, right there. Yeah, what's that MAC address right there? We looking at.
It is learning. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't get nervous, man. You good? Just
Okay. So it is learning. I'm sorry. I got it confused with the MAC address from the PC.
It's all good. It's all good.
So
So let's walk through this. I'm going to jump in as the engineer, right? As if I'm on your team, okay? So remember, the OSI model is our best friend, right? You already took care of one layer, right? You took care of layer one, right?
right.
You checked, connectivity is fine, link is up, right? Electrical signals are passing through. You confirm that, right? Now we're going to move to layer two, right? You confirmed some of layer two technologies that the professional services engineers configured. You confirmed, ether channel is configured using LACP. You confirmed that it was wrongly configured with, two different peers. So you confirm that, right? You also confirmed, right, with just your recent command of looking at the running configuration of the interfacing, and you as an engineer confirmed, hey, this is configured perfectly fine, has a trunk, right? What else do we need to check within that part of layer two, right? As far as and let's stay on the topic of trunks, right? What else we need to check to make sure all traffic is passing through the correct VLAN on that trunk?
Check to make sure all traffic. Should I see it's already verified that gigabit 0/0 is configured in VLAN 1?
No. Remember my question. How can we confirm that specific VLANs are running on that trunk? What show command can we use to confirm that?
Show interface trunk.
There we go. Let's go ahead and run that and check to see what's up. Perfect. Okay. So what can you analyze from here, from looking at this?
From what I see, just looking at it, VLAN, the native VLAN's VLAN 1, it's trunking 802.1 Q encapsulation. We are allowing all VLANs 1 to 4094.
Perfect. And what about that last part?
VLAN in spanning tree forwarding state and not pruned.
Perfect. So again, we're still at layer 2, right?
Yes.
So you ran this command, you confirm that, hey, all VLANs are passing through that trunk, correct? And the trunk doing this command gave you an introduction to something else that you need to check at layer 2, right? Because it's one of the major functions of a switch is preventing loops by implementing spanning tree. So have you even checked spanning tree just to make sure that's fine as well?
Okay. So show spanning.
Perfect. So what can you tell from that command?
Give me a second to look at it. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
I can see that I don't even see gigabit. I don't see gigabit 0/0.
That's because it's identifying it as. There you go. There you go.
Good stuff.
Everything is forwarding state. bridge is not.
So traffic is passing through, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing blocking it from a Cisco standpoint.
Right.
Perfect. Let's stop here. Okay. So perfect. What you did is we fundamentally confirmed layer 1 and layer 2. That's all you needed to do, right?
Right.
Because if we go to layer 3, oh, now that's the FortiGate. Now we need to go ahead and take a look at the FortiGate and see what's going on. Okay.
Yeah. So just quick question. So typically in a scenario like this, say if somebody does have a different FortiGate, would we still be responsible for like troubleshooting that particular device, or?
No.
Okay.
If I work for Cisco, I don't give a damn about Fortinet.
Okay, because I've had I've heard some engineers on the team before. They did just help out just because.
That's discretion. That's a discretionary move. That's all that's.
So and I know where they're coming from, because again, we've seen it, right? As far as responsibility for you being the engineer, right? This is where the fundamentals come in. And right, this is what Carlos, Christian, and Claude was talking you through. All you need to confirm is fundamentally a MAC address is being learned, right? We're talking about our scenario here. MAC address is being learned. If we did have a layer 3 interface, right?
Right.
Can pings pass through to that next hop? If so, my hands are clean, Mr. Customer. You need to go ahead and get your Fortinet guy to go ahead and troubleshoot and see why I can't ping.
Okay.
Okay. So from a layer 2 standpoint, what you confirmed is layer 2 is working fine. He owned the switches primarily, right? This multi-layer switch is only doing layer 2 functions. So Kelvin, being the engineer, has done all that he can from a layer 2 standpoint, right? We can't confirm layer 3 from a LAN standpoint because, right, there's no, we can confirm layer 2, but we can't confirm layer 3. So for us to confirm layer 3, right, is for us to go ahead and go to the layer 3 topology, part of the topology, which is the routers.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and close this. We're done with switch 1. That's cool. Go ahead and write that in your notes. Now, right, I'm going to pull it up for you. Okay, so you got your 3 routers off for passing traffic. Okay, you got your subnets or what have you. Okay, and again, it's a /30. So you see your subnet. The last octa can either be a 1 or a 2.
Yeah,
kept it real simple.
Connection.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna let you troubleshoot as such. Remember, you got some folks on this call who's good at layer 3. So feel free to call the Avengers and ask for help.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I still have access? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and look at the running configuration on this router.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do check the status of the interfaces. So it's up and it's up. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna look at the routing table.
Why?
Just to verify if router 6 has a route to, well, they're in the same network. I wouldn't have to do that. I'm
So
gonna,
we're not gonna confirm layer 2 and layer 2 to layer 3 on here, even though it's a router.
confirm layer 2 to layer 3.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Before we even look at the routing table.
He's talking about the mapping of it, Kelvin. The mapping of layer 2 to layer 3.
okay,
So remember that protocol, that little simple protocol.
see, Art,
There you go.
There we go. My man. My man.
Hey man, you getting in there?
Let's roll.
okay, I can't remember the.
No, that's just nervousness.
Question mark.
That's just nervousness.
Question
That's
mark.
all.
So Art. Yeah, I should just be the history. So it is learning the MAC address from the firewall through gigabit 0/0.
Is that what that's telling you? Remember what Claude said? It's an IP address to MAC address mapping.
Now here's an indication right here. Okay, ARP tables have time frames in them. Do you agree? As far as how long is known about something?
I think it's 300 seconds, so 5 minutes.
There we go.
So when you see those little dashes in there in the time section, that's all local stuff that it's telling you about. It ain't telling you nothing about what it's connected to. So keep that in mind. So those three interfaces are the interfaces of R6 itself. It's telling you these are my MAC addresses. So I don't need to put no time down here. You see that?
Yes.
If it was learning something from a distant hop, a distant device, then you would see a time frame in there. That lets you know that's another device. You see, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So just keep in mind, even though you see IP addresses there and you see MAC addresses there, understand whose MAC addresses those are based on that time section.
Okay, appreciate that.
So Kelvin, what's next?
Let's see. So
If we're talking about the OSI model, what's next?
So I verified layer 1 was up and up. I mean, in layer 2, would I move up the OSI model to layer 3 and check?
You're the engineer. Don't ask me.
No,
You do it.
I'm talking out loud. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. All good. All good.
I didn't know what role you was in, customer or.
Hey man, you got to be ready. You're the engineer. Roll out. What's next?
But
It's all good. Let's talk through this. I'll help you out.
I'm
okay?
sorry.
So
haven't messed with layer 3
it's,
a lot.
It's all good. It's all good. So what we did here, right? We did we knocked out two birds with one stone, right? With one command, right? We confirmed layer 2 and layer 3 up and running here, but we're not finished with confirming layer 3. We finished with confirming layer 2. Okay. So let's go ahead And let's go ahead and look at the rest of the layer 3 by looking at the rib or the routing table. And let's take a look and see, okay, what does router 6 know about, passing traffic throughout the network? Okay, let's see how everything's set up. Okay, I'll give you some time to take a look at this.
So the 7.0.0 network, it has a path to that. 7.50.1. It's directly connected path through gigabit 0/0.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a path to get to the 7.50.1 network.
Mm-hmm. Which are what type of networks?
Directly connect.
Exactly. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to jump in as one of your teammates. Okay, as an engineer. So let's go ahead and reverse engineer this thing. Right. Whenever we're troubleshooting with the OSI model, it's not statically in one direction to go ahead and troubleshoot. We can always go back down. If we're at layer 3, we always go back down to layer 2 or layer 2.5 and see what's going on. Okay. So we confirmed here, right, in the routing table, hey, my directly connected networks are up and running, right? I made you aware that, and of course, fundamentally from the CCNA, a /30, it has either 1 or 2 host addresses,
Right.
For this specific subnet, either a .1 or a .2.
Right.
So with you confirming in your ARP table and in your layer 1 table, right? We confirm that the interface is configured on your box, right? On R6 is a .1, right?
Right.
Let's go ahead and reverse engineer this thing and go ahead and ping our, that next hop, right? Or that device that's on the same broadcast domain that has myself, and see if I get a reply. Then I can go ahead and go in my ARP table and see, oh, I confirmed layer 2 and layer 3 with these other devices. They're working perfectly fine.
All right. So you're saying ping.
That makes sense?
Yes. So you're saying ping the firewall, because I know it would have to be .2.
Exactly. Right. Or ping that next hop. It doesn't have to just be the firewall. It can be those other networks as well, right? Those other devices you're connected to, and you're going to go ahead and confirm and make sure, hey, I have it in my ARP table, which is my IP address to MAC address mapping. Confirm layer 2, 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. So I'm able to ping the firewall. I'm getting a reply back from the firewall.
Okay.
So,
There we go.
See that time stamp in there now?
yes, the 0.
Yeah, that tells you that it's another. This is saying this is not me. This is somebody else.
Okay.
In layman's terms.
All right. So now I'm just going to ping the other routers to verify.
Yeah.
So ping. I would be able to just ping the actual. Let's see. Okay. I got it now. All right. 4.50. Mm, 8.50. Would I have to ping? I wouldn't necessarily have to.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay.
You got ahead of yourself.
By pinging 8.50.1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
I wasn't.
Hold on.
I realized I should.
So, Kelvin, why? Why do you
Be-
feel like you shouldn't have to?
because I have a route to get down towards the server from router 6 straight to router 5. I wouldn't have to go through router 7 to router 5. And
Okay, but why did that? But what if that was how it's configured? Why is it not working? Why aren't you able to ping 8.50.1.2?
let's see. I do not have a route to get from router 6 to that
850 network.
Yeah,
The 8.50 network.
So I can go in there and configure it statically
or dynamically.
Nope. You ain't got to. But remember, right?
Right.
You don't have to go quick with this troubleshooting. Take your time. Take a screenshot of the routing table before jumping to the next thing. If you have a show command, I know one thing skill Jermaine taught me. If you pop in a whole bunch of show commands or you're trying to prove something, take a screenshot, drop it in your OneNote, analyze it. You're running the call. Hey, give me a moment to take a look at this. Okay?
Okay, I appreciate it. It's just sometimes when
keep rolling.
I get it. Like when you're trying to troubleshoot, it's kind of like sometimes you feel like you have to rush and try to get, because the customers probably want you to hurry up and finish it. I have to come to the realization that, you have to take that. If it takes time, it just takes time to get it to work.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's talk about this, right? Because you brought up a good point. Did I ever tell you, me being the customer, get back in the scenario and tell you need to hurry up and fix this?
No, you didn't. It was something a pressure that I was putting on myself. So.
Okay. So that's the point I'm trying to make. If they don't tell you shit, if they're not pressuring you, you take your time, right?
Okay.
Let's think about this. If you were a doctor, if you're trying to rush and trying to, fix somebody's wound, right? Life or death situation, you're going to rush and possibly mess up, or tell everybody to shut the hell up and let you work?
Option 2.
Thank you. Take your time. You're running this. You're the engineer. You're the expert. Tell everybody to shut up so you can think. Okay?
Okay.
Let's keep rolling.
All right, so.
You're doing good, by the way. So we now confirmed connectivity, right? You confirm, layer 3 reachability within your directly connected routes on your within your routing table. Okay? So you confirm that for router 6, right?
All right.
So you confirm that. So now that you have that, what's one thing we can look at the routing table and see that's missing? Just like how we saw within the Ether channel. What's wrong with this routing table here?
It's only showing directly connected routes.
Okay. All right. And that's a perfect analysis. Now, to add on to that, right? What did you see in the running configuration that tells you something isn't working as configured? And you can run that command again. Take a look at it. We only have directly connected routes. What's not working as expected that you saw that you can tell the customer that something is going on with either? You said it locked up? There you go. You good? Calvin.
All right, here it is. My internet was going out. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good.
He was thinking over
there. So, this is where you can deduce and take a look at the running config and take your time and see, okay, so I saw the routing table He only has directly connected routes, but let me make sure in the running config to see if there's anything configured so that the router can auto-magically learn about different networks.
Oh,
OSPF right here.
yeah. Yeah.
Router OSPF.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah, it's only advertised in 2 different networks. It's not showing the 8.50 network.
Would it have to? It's not connected to that network.
Yeah, you're right. Oh no.
You're on the right path. You're on the right path. Let's talk through
It
it.
is not showing the 4.50 network.
Okay. Let's keep going. We're going hop by hop. Remember, we started troubleshooting at the LAN. Now we're at the first part of the WAN. What do you want to confirm from a Cisco standpoint? That nothing's wrong with the Cisco device, correct?
Yes.
So if we're taking a look at this, right, as an engineer, fundamentally, we know how OSPF works, right? So, right, if we're on a broadcast domain, right, and we configure OSPF, right,
Right.
not at an interface level, right, but at a global level, right,
Right.
and we configure certain networks to be a part of that OSPF area, right?
Right.
We configure that, right, and that network, if it has another peer, right, or another device that's running OSPF as well, on that same broadcast domain, automatically create a neighborship. Okay? As long as it's broadcasting that, hey, I'm running OSPF in your same area, the same broadcast domain as well. I'm gonna share, my my routing table, my database, right, of all the routes that I know within my routing table. Okay?
Right.
So we can deduce, right? We can go ahead and take a look at your routing table and say, this customer's running OSPF, but I don't have any OSPF routes here. But I can ping the FortiGate. What's going on here? And again, fundamentals, Kelvin, fundamentals. Not up to you to fix the customer's FortiGate. Fundamentally, what do you see here?
That so
We're just talking about R6 to FortiGate 1. I don't care about the other routers. R6 to FortiGate 1.
I mean, from R6 to FortiGate 1, I verified that we can actually reach that address. We can actually ping the address.
Okay.
And I need to verify if they're in the same area.
No, it's not.
No.
No, because you only can see the areas that's configured on the Cisco box.
Right, you're right.
Because you're not a FortiGate engineer, are you?
No, I'm not.
So again, I'm going to ask you fundamentally, and hell, do a show IP route again, right? Fundamentally, we don't see OSPF routes in our routing table. What does that tell you? But we're running OSPF on this router. What does that tell you? And there's also some other commands you can run for OSPF just to even double check even further. Reach out to Claude to help you.
Show IP. Yeah, there we go.
There we go, Carlos. Thank you.
It's a lone wolf. It's a lone wolf.
Show IP OSPF neighbor.
No output came out, did it?
No.
It's a lone wolf.
So
What does that tell you?
So none of the other routers are running OSPF?
We're not talking about the other routers. We're talking about R6 to FortiGate 1. What does this tell you?
I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart.
All by myself.
It's all good, Calvin. Take your time.
It's all by itself.
Maybe the FortiGate is not configured to run OSPF.
Exactamundo, right? So, but we can phrase it a bit different, right? Because remember, fundamentally, right? Exactly what I said about Carlos and Claude said about OSPF, right? Fundamentally, if we have a router that's running OSPF, any other device that's on, the same broadcast domain has those interfaces that it's connected to. If it's running OSPF and we have configured that same network that the interface is tied to, it should automatically go ahead and create a neighborship. What you confirmed is one, at layer 3, we're still at layer 3. We confirmed that the link state database, right?
Right.
That wasn't shared. No neighborship was brought up, right? From the FortiGate 1, or you don't have any neighbors at all, but we're only looking at R6 or FortiGate 1 for now, because we're going to keep it small. We're going to go in pieces. So there's not a neighborship created between the FortiGate. You can ping it, right? But within the OSI model, there's different layers we can go to. Hey, we can ping it. That doesn't mean everything is working.
Right.
Okay. So we don't have any OSPF routes, but looking at it fundamentally, we should, right? If we want, let's look at this whole topology. If we want the server, the Windows server, to communicate with PC12 or any other PCs, I'm going to have to know about this network right here. I'm going to have to know about this network right here. You want to know why? Because they're separated by layer 3 boundaries.
Right.
Right? And broadcasts aren't shared, right? Aren't forwarded past the layer 3 boundaries. So I need to know how to push that to the next hop. If I don't know how to get there, if I don't know how to push that traffic there, which we confirmed at R6, no traffic is being passed. I can ping for things that are on my same broadcast domain or same links. But as far as outside of those broadcast domains, like 10.10.1.0, try to ping it now. It won't work. You don't have a way to get there. So, you being the engineer, you can definitely say, hey, sir, you can do, sir or ma'am, you can say it in a way to where you're not saying their FortiGate is broken. You could say it in a way to where, hey, sir, I'm looking at your Cisco router. Of course, me not being a technical guy, is you can say, hey, it looks like here, router 6 doesn't have a way to get towards your local area network. And in between your Cisco devices, that's in your local area network or your network at Campus 1, and your routers is a FortiGate device. So do you have a FortiGate engineer, or can you call TAC to investigate what's going on at your FortiGate? Because apparently that's what's stopping me from continuing my troubleshooting.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
So your goal is not to say, right? And I hope that's, because that used to be my thing, right? I used to think that even though I was mainly just Cisco, but there were other, of course, in different environments, they had different vendors, that it was up to me to troubleshoot those vendors as well. Absolutely not. Why do you think they want you guys to just take the CCNA, right? All throughout the world, all throughout, social media and the career, they just want you to know the CCNA. Fundamentally, if you know routing and switching, right, you can go ahead and troubleshoot anything in the world. Okay? So as long as you identify layer 1, 2, and 3, you can go ahead and explain, hey, OSPF is configured. We're not even gonna go to the next network, the server's network, or these different broadcast domains between the routers. R6 can't communicate with your local area network in Campus 1, and it can't even learn routes from FortiGate 1. So we need to see what's going on right there.
Okay.
Because fundamentally, right, CCNA talks about just OSPF, right? And fundamentally how, dynamic routing protocols work. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. So I know it's getting late. We're not going to dwell on that, right? But good stuff, right? Just remember, it's okay. It's okay to take your time. Okay? It's perfectly fine to take your time. Here's what we're going to do. I want you to rest, kick it, chill for a little bit. Let's, read up a little bit more. Take a screenshot of the topology if you need to.
Okay.
I know tomorrow night we're going to jump right back into it. So I want you to get a little break. Okay? We're going to jump right back into it, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to start where you left off. Okay?
How you feeling, Kelvin?
I can hear you. What you say, Brian?
I said, how you feeling?
I mean, I feel okay. I just noticed that, the little small mistakes that I'm making, like I'm glad I'm able to do it here and make them now, because now I kind of, now I know, what to look for and what to check for if I'm ever, in a situation like this again. So I would rather make the mistakes now. So I'm feeling good.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate, everybody having my back and helping me out. But like I said,
Gotcha, man.
making the mistakes I know that's the only way you're really going to learn. Getting your hands dirty and messing
Because
up.
we're engineers.
Right. So like I said, Dave, I appreciate you taking the time out to make that lab and, work with me.
Oh, it's all good. That's what we do. And Kelvin, any questions for not me, but the folks in the crowd, anything, are you trying to get any feedback? Because if I were you, I would go ahead and get feedback from my peers that were watching me and see, hey, because they may have seen something that you may have not noticed, so that you can, you can ponder upon and see if you can do better tomorrow night whenever we run the same thing.
Okay. So, does just listening to me like talk and try to interact with the customer and things like that, like, can you let me know anything that I may need to improve on, or any observations?
Folks, unmute yourself.
Any observations that y'all might have that, you feel like, I should improve on?
Only thing I can think of is try to improve on small talk.
Right.
What's up, Kelvin?
Thanks, Christian.
I appreciate that. Anything else from anybody else?
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yo, what's up, man?
I
I think you did good. I think you did good.
think you did great.
Yeah, exactly. Your, I guess, train of thought and how you were following the path from source to destination was good. Troubleshooting each hop. Once you got to, I know, from layer 2 to layer 3 is a little bit different. And you also mentioned that, right? Which is all good. We're here and you'll learn it. But yeah, I think that's where you started stumbling on. So I would say look into that. That command that you ran, the actual IPOSPF neighbor, sort of, told you exactly where the issue was. Like, we're not learning any routes at all, right? We don't have a neighborship configured with OSPF. So at that point, let's see how the other devices are configured is how I would, start troubleshooting. And like you figured out, are you asked, right? Is the FortiGate configured with OSPF? How is that configured? And then I would start going hop by hop. How is R5 configured? How is R7 configured? Is it in the same area? Because like you said, right, we're only learning directly connected routes. Why are we not learning that 3.50? Why are we not learning that 10.10?
Right.
.2 or the 10.10.1, which is behind the FortiGate, stuff like that. But overall, now you did great. Like Aaron said, good shit.
And did y'all notice early on, Dave said, he said, didn't you build this network? He tried to treat Calvin like that big black dog that he's got at his house. He tried to bite him. Kevin said, no, I wasn't part of that group. Good job, Kevin. Good job moving your ass out the way, not to get bit.
The other thing that I would say, Kelvin, like if you ever like when, cause I kind of seen it a little bit, like whenever he started to get kind of snappy a little bit, my first reaction is to be like, hey, look, you ain't gonna keep talking to me like that.
Right.
But just kind of be mindful of it. That technically is a real life thing.
Right.
So just kind of be mindful of that. That's it.
Yeah, I understand. I appreciate all the feedback. It's just like I said, I need to get a little more comfortable talking, like in taking actual live troubleshooting type calls and things of that nature, and working on my small talk.
Hey, Kelvin.
Oh, snap.
Cool.
Hey, Kelvin.
Yes, sir.
Let me say this. I agree with everything everybody says. And with time, your speed will come.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Dave made the comment earlier in reference to, him being the customer. He didn't put any time pressures on, and you put your own pressures on yourself.
Right.
In a lot of cases, that is true. The customer won't necessarily put a time on you or a time pressure, but a lot of times when you're responding to tickets, there's a built-in SLA that will.
Right.
So one of the things that you will become a master of when you get to the point of you knowing what specific information you need when you're going through your troubleshooting process, you will begin to develop your ability to use direct to the point commands.
Right.
What I mean by that, if you want to look at a specific interface, how it's configured, it's not necessarily that you have to run the show run command to go through the whole thing, but
Right.
knowing how to run specifically the run command to tell you the information about a specific interface.
Right.
What I mean by that, you want to know about gig ether 00 and how it's configured and the topology that you're using. Show run will do that. It will give you that information. It'll give you a whole bunch of other information that will have no relevance to you.
Right.
But modifying that command to show run interface gig 0, whatever it may be, that output's going to be communicated and just give you that specific block of that interface that you was looking for.
Right.
Using the same thing, getting familiar with your pipe commands. When you're going through and you're running down your process, there's specific things that you're looking for. In the real world, you'll have, in this environment, the MAC address was nice and clean. It was only about a couple. You can see what you're looking for specifically. But in the real world, you're going to have MAC addresses that seem like they go on for days.
Right.
So when you are taking your notes about, okay, I know my PC's MAC address is this, maybe write down those first 4, or let me put it this way, probably be better to write down list the last 4, because if you got multiple vendors,
right,
and you got devices of the same vendor, using the first 4 or first 6 octets will come up with multiple hits. But if you use those last digits, it can weed through that entire MAC address table and just show you specifically what you're looking for, if it's there or not.
right,
So like I said, as time goes on, getting to understand how to type a command in to be more surgical, to find things specific, which will save you a lot of time and eliminate a lot of unnecessary information that you may not be looking for. Does that make sense?
yes, that makes sense. It makes a bunch of sense. And it's like, I know those commands, it's just in that moment I was so nervous. It's kind of like
yeah
I got let my nerves get to me, but that's why, like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to go through these things and know I need to slow down and actually verify that layer 1, layer 2, layer 3.
And like I said, the whole specific command stuff that comes with time. That comes with you being in that hot seat in a production environment multiple times.
Right.
You know, and you can clearly think about, because see, that's the thing, when you in a fight, you just trying to fight. But if you've been in a fight a few times, believe it or not, all else slows down and you're able to think. You're able to think. And that's the difference between a newbie and somebody who's been around for a minute.
Right.
You know, because you'll see them fly through commands and they getting these little short outputs of stuff and ain't scrolling through the screen, you know, looking for XYZ. They're looking for things specific. You know, yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was good stuff, man.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate it, man. Like I know what I need to kind of work on, kind of what to look over tonight, between tonight and tomorrow. So,
yeah. Guys, I apologize. I didn't even like introduce or even mention that. I just saw on my participant list that Fabiana actually joined the call as well. I believe she's working as a network administrator. So, folks, say what up to Fabiana. Fabiana, do you have any words from this session, from you sitting in for Kelvin, just to, you know, just feedback or what have you, just from your standpoint?
Hello everyone. Good evening.
Hey.
I'm working as a knock tech, by the way, not a knock.
Sorry.
I'm not there yet.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah, I'm on my way. As far as feedback, I don't really have much to say that hasn't already been said. I think he did a really great job. So I don't know. But
Good
yeah,
stuff.
I echo what everyone else said.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Kel.
Yes, sir.
Do you want my feedback or you want me to shut up?
Yeah, I want it. I want it all.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. Nah, man. You know, overall, dude, you did good. You know, and I think this entire group has seen your ability before. You know, the word nervousness does not exist in my vocabulary, so I hope you're going to take that out of yours. Right? What it was, right, is what I've noticed is that it was your scientifically what they call it is that your cells were in a state of excitement that you weren't used to for a while, right? And so you didn't know how to control it, right? And you're trying to keep your cool, but the thing is, right, it's okay to not keep your cool. If you're unfamiliar with how you're feeling at the moment, your cells being in excitement, you're very excited, you're ready to jump in and do what you need to do. It's perfectly fine to slow it down and say, you know what, let me take a step back. You know, here's where I'm at right now. I can only do what I can and research the rest.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
At a certain point, right, you know, throughout the troubleshooting, you started strong, right? You started troubleshooting on your own, but then, you know, as help came, you started, you know, you took yourself out of the fight. You started asking questions rather than started doing.
Right.
Okay. So I want you to remember, right? Remember, you know, your lifelines are your lifelines for worst case scenario, right? And if something, you know, if something is just missing and you just have a knowledge gap, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean Kelvin isn't still the engineer, because Kelvin knows his stuff. We've seen it. You know layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 from a CCNA level, and that's all you need to know fundamentally. You're not building a city network. You're troubleshooting a network. That's it. CCNA level knowledge is all that you need, and that's what you got. So take your time, be easy on yourself, grant yourself some grace. I know, you know, Jermaine's wife always told him and myself whenever we were unpacking up late at midnight trying to lab stuff up. So, dude, you're working hard. You're doing an awesome job. So just continue to stay in the gym, even for 5 seconds. Open up Packet Tracer, build out a small network while you're at the coffee shop, then start your day. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour lab.
Okay.
So you're doing good. Take your time. If you don't know something, that's perfectly fine. You know, there's a website called Google out here.
You're right.
It does miraculous things. It tells you the answers as long as you know what you're looking for. Okay? So remember, you have a team, you have Google, and you have the knowledge that you work so hard for. So remember to just rely on that. You know what you need to do, and you're an engineer. So remember to have confidence in yourself and everything that you're doing, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that's it for me. I'm about to go shoot some zombies. I don't know about you guys. And we will see you tomorrow night. Okay? Part 2.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Kel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job,
Later.
Cal.
Good
All
dope.
right.
Good night, all.
Good night.
All right.